Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all are doing good. So if you remember, yesterday I have told you what is data engineering. So if you remember the yesterday session, so we have started our course data engineering with the Google Cloud platform. I have told you what is data engineering and what is the role of a data engineer. And after that, I have also told you what is Google Cloud platform, what are the relevant services in the Google Cloud platform for the data engineer. All of those details we have discussed yesterday. And the service portfolio also we have seen. And after that, I have told you what is our course curriculum and all. So this is data engineering and role of a data engineer, data acquisition, data storage, data processing, quality, system integration, performance, and monitoring and maintenance. And we have seen what is Google Cloud. It is one of the cloud computing services provider. It provides you the cloud computing services, which will be very useful for the organizations to build, deploy, and scale their applications and services in the cloud. And we have seen the service portfolio. Here we see that the compute services, identity and security services, so big data services, storage and database services. So like this, you have a plenty of services available in the Google Cloud platform. So yesterday I told you that we are going to start with these topics. Okay. So today we are going to start with these topics, guys. Cloud overview. One by one, we are going to learn about all of these topics. It takes at least for these topics to be completed. It takes at least a 1 week to 1 week or 7 days to 8 days. It will take for us to complete all of these basic concepts. Once the basic concepts are completed, like cloud overview, Google Cloud interfaces, console walkthrough, GCP locations, IAM and admin, compute options, for us to take 7 to 8 days, and that is the plan. And after that, we are going to enter into the data engineering tools. And if you categorize the data, we have unstructured, semi-structured, and structured data. For unstructured data, we can use Google Cloud Storage. For semi-structured data, we can use Bigtable. For structured OLTP, we can use Cloud SQL. For structured OLAP, we can use BigQuery. So we are going to start with the GCS. After the basic concepts are completed, we will take GCS for next 2 to 3 days and Bigtable. After that, Cloud SQL will be started. Cloud SQL is for the 3 to 4 days and BigQuery is for 5 days. Okay, and later we will start with the Spark and Hadoop jobs with the data proc. Here we are going to learn the PySpark. It will take 6 to 7 days. Beam pipelines, this will also take 6 days, 5 to 6 days. And code free API, we are not going to learn more about the data fusion because we don't need to write any code, right? So everything is available on there only. So if I tell you, it will be most of the things are self-explanatory only. It take like 2 to 3 days, 2 days, max 2 days. And after that, we have to learn about the workflow orchestration tool, which is a Airflow or a Composer, a Python-based tool. We need to learn about it. It takes like 5 days. And after that, infrastructure provisioning tool, it takes actually 3 to 4 days. Okay, so that means 3 to 4 days means 3 to 4 hours, you can say. Okay, so that is how we are going to learn all of these topics one by one. And here I might not have mentioned the PubSub, which is a streaming data ingestion tool. We're also learning that as well. So that also takes like 2 to 3 days, 3 days, 3 hours. Okay, so that is what is all about. And course details, total hours will be 45. Timings will be daily 1 hour. Delivery will be online live sessions, video recordings, comprehensive material, assignments, real-time projects, interview questions, certification dumps, and resume assistance. All things will be provided to you. Okay, so this is what happens, guys. And prerequisite for the course is familiarity with the SQL. Target audience are like these one. So these are all things that we have seen yesterday also. I'm going to start our real topics today. So our topic is the first topic, as I mentioned here also. This is what we are starting today. We are going to see the cloud overview. What is cloud platforms? If you do not have a cloud platforms, how the people working before? Sorry. So before like 10 years or 7 years before, how the people were working in the on-premises environment. Nothing but a traditional working environment. What is traditional working environment? How to work in the traditional working environment, how the companies were struggling working with the traditional working environment. All of those three people, all of those things we will see. After that, how the cloud came into the picture, how the cloud is providing the benefits to the companies, and we will also see. That's where we will see what is cloud platforms, why we need the cloud platforms, the difference between the traditional or the on-premises to the cloud. Okay, then we will see the GCP and why we learn the GCP opportunities and certifications. Okay, now let us go to the one more slide. Think I have it here somewhere. So this is what we are starting. Okay, so here we have a why we need cloud on premises, all of those things. Let us start with this thing. So this is our topic, guys, for today. Hope you all can hear me. If you guys are facing any issues with the audio or a video, please let me know, guys. We are starting our real topic today. Okay, so why we need the cloud platforms? So you can able to see it here, the cloud platforms. First of all, let us try to understand how the companies were working before the cloud. How the companies, how the software companies were working. Okay, then you will be able to understand how these cloud platforms are doing a benefit to us. Okay, so assume that, let's consider, if you are working in an organization. Okay, let's just consider that if you are working in one of the organization, that organization wanted to roll out a new application. Okay, that particular organization wanted to roll out a new application. Now what the business team will do is that business team will come up with the requirements for the application. What the business team will do, the business team will come up with with the requirements for the application. Assume that you are working in one of the company. Okay, that company wanted to roll out a new application. So whenever a company wanted to roll out a new application or create a new application, the business team will be there. That business team will come up with the requirements for the application, and next the requirements will be passed to the business analyst. What the business analyst will do is that business analyst will gather the needs for the business and analyzes it and converts it into a set of high level technical requirements. What the business analyst will do, he will gather all the information from the business and all other sources as well. He will try to analyze it, he will try to convert that into high technical requirements. Because business, what the business team will do, okay, we wanted to create an application, and that application will be having this, this is what is the traffic that we are expecting, and this is what is use of this application. And they won't tell you about any technical requirements, they will tell you about in general the application requirements, how the application should be, what the application should be, all of those details they will tell you. What the business analyst will do is that he will gather the information from the business team, and he will analyze that information, and whatever the requirements are needed for that, and whatever the things that he needed for that, he will convert that entire information into a high level technical requirements. Those technical requirements will be high level technical requirements will be passed to the solution architect. Every company will have a solution architect, every project will have a solution architect. For a couple of projects there will be a one solution architect also. What the solution architect will do, he will get all the requirements of business requirements as well as the application requirements from the business analyst, and he creates a solution for that particular application. The solution means architecture to be followed for that application. He creates an entire architecture design for the application deployment. From the scratch to the application deployment, what are the things needed? All the things will be created in an architecture design, and he will mention the deployment process to be followed, and he will mention the infrastructure needed for this particular service, and the number of servers needed for this particular service. What is the front end web server? What is the back end web server? What is the database? What are the load balancers? So everything, each and every aspect of application deployment, from the scratch to the end, everything he will be mentioning in that architecture design. So which will be very useful for the all other teams to follow. Okay, so what the solution architect will do? Whatever the high level technical requirements he gathered from the business analyst, he will try to create an architecture design to be followed for the deployment of this application. So what is the deployment strategy? Which service we are using it for the application deployment, what is the compute option, what is the coding language, what is the front end web server, what is the back end web server, what is the load balancers, what are the number of servers, and what is the specification type, what is the infrastructure that we are using. All the things he will be putting into a one diagram, and that diagram we actually call it as a architecture diagram for that application deployment. Okay, so that is what is the solution architect will do. Business team, what the business team will do? Business team will get the requirement, or business team comes with the requirements of the application, and business analyst will gather the information from the business team, and he converts that into a high level technical requirements. Those high level technical requirements will be passed to the solution architect. Now the solution architect will design an architecture to be followed for the deployment of the application. Okay, this involves many things I just told you. Now the thing is that, so solution architect mentioned the number of servers, the front end web server, the back end web server, are the databases, are the load balancers, are the infrastructure. If this entire hardware as well as the infrastructure is available in the company, at that point of time, the companies, the organizations will have its own data center. Okay, at that point of time, maybe 7 years before, you do not have a topic of cloud. You don't think about the cloud because you have to create your own infrastructure there. Okay, you have to create your own infrastructure there. So what you have to do, what the solution are, whatever the infrastructure, hardware, software mentioned in the solution architect, all should be available in the company's data center only, that organization's data center. Each organization used to have some data center. All of these hardware has to be available there only. If it is not available, they have to buy it. They have to buy it or purchase it from some vendor. Okay, if they have to purchase it, there will be a procurement team will be there. Okay, all the data center has to be available in the company's organization data center, sir. This is organization data center. So this is company's data center. We call it as a data center. In the data center, you will be having a storage, racks, servers, storage, networking features. All of those features you will be having it in hardware, software, as well as a networking, CPU, RAM. Everything will be available in the organization data center only. Okay, so how would all of these things come into the picture? It's because whenever a new application they wanted to roll out, or whatever the requirements for that application, they have to buy it. All the infrastructure and hardware, they have to buy it. So if it is already available in the data center, they don't need to buy it. If it is not available, what they will do? This solution architect will place a request to the procurement team. Okay, what the solution architect will do? He will place a request to the procurement team. In the traditional model we are talking about, in a 7 years or 8 years before, you do not have a cloud available. So what they will do? They have to have their own organization data center. So all of these infrastructure have to be deployed in the organization's on-premises environment only. This means making the use of these assets in the data center. All these assets in the data center we have to make. And if the additional hardware is required, if the additional infrastructure is required, they would have to order it via procurement team. They have to order it via this procurement team. And now this procurement team will place a request to the vendors. They will place a request to the vendors. You will be know already the vendors, right? So what they will do, once the once the hardware, additional hardware is requirement is there, they would be ordered via procurement team. Now the procurement team put a request to the vendors. Now it will take days, weeks, or even months for the hardware to be purchased and delivered to the data center. Because whatever the vendor is, and whatever the request we have sent to the vendor, that vendor will be moving all of the, getting all the hardware, hardware as well as infrastructure, all the equipment he will be purchasing and delivering it to our data center. You will be moving that to the data center. This would take days or a weeks or even months also sometimes. So if it is taking months, that means your deployment process of your application is getting delayed. Okay, your application process is getting delayed. So this is what happens. So when you are working with the vendors or when you are working on one application and you need to have all the infrastructure to be available in your organization data center. If it is not available in the organization data center, you have to be purchased via procurement team. Now the procurement team will place a request to the vendors. Vendors will take a lot of time. It takes days, weeks, and even months for the hardware to be purchased and delivered to the data center. Okay, if it is available, sir. Okay, what they assume that after 1 or 2 months, all the data center, all the entire hardware which we need it, all will be delivered to the data center. Once the data is available, once the infrastructure as well as hardware is available in the data center, now the infrastructure team come into the picture. Infrastructure team come into the picture, sir. What they will do is that once entire information or a hardware received at the data center, the field engineers come into the picture. The field engineers are the in charge of the rack and stack of the equipment, and then system admins will take care of the initial system configurations. Network admins will take care of the networking, such as system to be available over the network, and the storage admins will take care of the storage of this application as well as hardware, all of those things. Backup admins will take care of the backup of your entire resources. Then application team, whatever the application team it has created the code for your application, the application team will be deploying your application on top of this hardware, on top of this infrastructure, which is available in the organization data center. It will be deployed here. Okay, so this is what happens in the traditional working model. In the traditional working model, a business comes with a requirement of the application, and then business analyst will come into the picture. He will get the requirements from the business team. He converts that into high level technical requirements. Now he will be passing that information to the solution architect. The solution architect will create a architectural design to be followed for the deployment of your application, and that involves many things, right? It involves that architecture diagram involves many things. A plain diagram with all the specifications such as count of servers, backend server, front-end server, web servers, load balancers, as well as the backend databases, everything, whatever that is needed for your application to be deployed, all the things he will be mentioned there. Whatever he mentioned in the whatever he mentioned in the solutional architecture design, all of those infrastructure to be available in the organization data center. If it is not available, procurement team will place a request to the vendors. Vendors will purchase and deliver it to the data center. Once the entire infrastructure is available in the data center, the field engineers will take charge and they will make the rack and stack. And after that, rack and stack means this one, sir. What is rack and stack? You can think of, right? So this is organization data center. This is how it looks like. This is how they build it, and this is what is a rack and stack. Okay, so the data center, inside the data center, you will be looking like this. It will be looking like this. A lot of wires, connections, disk servers connected together. All these things are available over the network. Okay, so entire information is like this. For this one, you have to provide the 24 by 7 cooling, 24 by 7 electricity, and everyone has to be monitored properly. If something goes wrong also, this is how it looks like. This is what we call as a rack and stack. Okay, now the system admins will come into the picture and they will do the initial configuration of the systems, and the network admins make the systems to be available on the network, and storage admins assign the storage to the servers. Backup admin will configure the backups, and finally once the system is set up as per the standards, that can be handed over to the application team. The application team will deploy the applications that is on top of this organization hardware or infrastructure. Okay, so this is what is the process in the traditional working model. This is how people used to work in the traditional working model. Now tell me, it takes a lot of time. Can you guys tell me, is it taking a lot of time or not? A lot of things we have to take care here. Okay, a lot of things we have to take care here. And what are the problems with it, sir? The process seems easy, but there are plenty of the teams involved, but the process seems easy. The flow is also very good, sir. But what is the problem that the companies are facing with this particular model, particular traditional working model? I'm going to tell you one by one. Okay, so in this particular traditional working model, the turnover time varies from the weeks to months, so everything to be ready for the application deployment. So that is the reason it is called as a slow deployment, sir. So why it is called as a slow deployment? If for the application, this is a requirement. You got the from the business that the requirement is to create an application. For the application, the turnover time varies from the weeks to months because everything has to be ready. This entire setup, this one. Okay, this is common, but these things are not common all the time. So this takes a lot of time. So that is the reason it is called as a slow deployment working model. The traditional working model is a slow deployment model. Okay, and scaling up and down as per the requirement or as per the demand cannot be achieved quickly. That is also one more thing. Okay, scaling up and down is also one more problem. And one more thing is that the overall cost to deploy and maintain this model is very high. It is a very expensive model. The overall cost to deploy and maintain this solution, scaling up and down as per the demand, is not that easy, and it is very costly. That is the reason we call it as a expensive traditional working model. Traditional working model is expensive. And one more thing is that some of the aspects of the infrastructure can be automated, but several steps such as rack and stack cabling, other deployment procedures are manual and slow. That is the reason it is called as a limited automation. It is called as a limited automation, sir, because most of the steps are manual here. Okay, and one more thing is that with so many teams working behind the scene on so many different tasks, the chances of human error are very high. With so many teams, you see here this team working, this team working, this team, many teams are working behind the scene on a very different task. The chances are the chances to the human error is very high. This results in inconsistency in the environment. This results in inconsistency in the environment. One more disadvantage is that, another major disadvantage is that the underutilization of the computer resources. Okay, it may lead to the underutilization of the computer resources, guys. So you may be purchasing a lot, but you are only using few. So most of the times in the traditional working model, underutilization is a one of the common disadvantage that you will be seeing. You are buying a lot of resources, but you are only using a few amount of resources. So that is the reason it is called as the wasted resources, underutilization of the computer resources. Okay, so when you're working in a traditional working model, you will be seeing all of these things, guys. It is a slow deployment model because the turnover time varies from the weeks to months. And it is a very costly model because scaling up and down is costly, and maintaining the model is costly, deployment model is also costly. And it is a limited automation because most of the steps are manual, you cannot be able to automate them. Chances to the human error is very high because many teams are working behind the scene on many different tasks, and you're going to be wasting the resources because you are not utilizing the computer resources fully. Okay, due to this many disadvantages over the past decades, organizations were looking for a one more solution where they don't wanted to manage this entire infrastructure on their own. Okay, due to these many disadvantages over the past decades, organizations wanted to move to the cloud platforms to take the advantages of the cloud services provided by the major cloud providers such as AWS, Azure, and GCP. That's where that's where cloud provider came into the picture. That's where who came into the picture, sir? Cloud providers. When you are providing the cloud provider, when you are taking care of the cloud providers, you don't need to worry about most of these things. Okay, whatever the inner circle is there, sir, you don't need to worry about these things because the cloud provider provides you the services which are managed services most of the time, and you don't need to worry about procurement team, you don't need to worry about rack and stack, you don't need to worry about maintaining your data center because maintaining the data center is not that easy, sir. And storage admins, system admins, you don't need any of these things. Once the solution architect is created, you will think about the system configuration as well as a backup admin, and application team will directly deploy your application on top of these cloud platforms. Okay, so this is what happens. So you don't need to work in all of these things. So that is the reason the working model is, so that is the reason, sorry, the working model is not slow deployment because it is a faster deployments. So you don't need to worry about field, you don't need to wait for anyone. So once the solution architect creates your solution design, you don't need to wait for the hardware to be purchased because the what the cloud providers will do, cloud providers will provide the resources as a services to you. You can use those resources and build your application and deploy your application on top of those cloud platforms. So that is the reason you don't need to worry about this team. Okay, no worry about all of these things. Once the solution architect design it, we create the infrastructure here, we deploy our application on top of it here directly. Okay, so that is the reason it is a faster deployments comparatively. And the cost also within the budget only, guys. You don't need to worry about it. It is not an expensive model comparatively. It is a less expensive, we can say. And most of the things can be automated here, guys, because many teams are not working, there is no human intervention. So you can create the CI/CD pipelines, continuous integration, continuous deployment pipelines. Those pipelines will be doing the automation, so you don't need to worry about any of the things to be doing manually. So most of the things can be done automated. So that's the reason it is not limited automation, it is a fully automation. Now tell me how many teams are working? Very less number of teams are working here. So that is the reason the human error is very less, because when you are working, many people are working, there is a chances of human error. But now here workers are less, the teams are less, so that's the reason there is no human error. I mean, maybe if it is there, it will be less. The inconsistency also less anyway. And when you are working in the cloud providers, or when you are working with the cloud computing services, you will only be creating the resources whatever you need. For example, if you need 5 virtual machines, you will only creating that 5 virtual machines. You don't create many virtual machines. If you need some 5 GB data storage, you only select the 5 GB. You don't select more than that. So that is the reason how much you need it, you can able to select it, or you can able to configure it accordingly. So that is the reason the utilization is, most of the times the utilization is more than 90%. Utilization of the computer resources is more than 90%. That's the reason you are not wasting the resources here. I mean, there is less. I mean, there will be there will be a some amount of wastage will be there, but compared to the traditional working model, that wastage is very less. Okay, so this is how in the cloud computing model we are working. So automation is good, and it is less expensive. Limited automation will not be there. It is a fully automation. No human error, no inconsistency, no wasted resources. So this is how cloud is doing the benefit to you. Cloud is doing the benefit to you. This is the difference between the on-premises and traditional working model. Okay, in if I have to say in a one single word, traditional or a on-premises working model is nothing but an organization managing its own infrastructure to run their code and applications. A very simple sentence, guys. If an organization managing its own infrastructure to run their applications and code is nothing but a traditional working model. What is infrastructure, sir? Some people call me, sir, what is infrastructure? What is infrastructure? You're saying it can be a server, it can be a hardware, it can be a software, it can be a networking, it can be a storage. So all of these things we call it as an infrastructure. So if an organization managing its own infrastructure to run their codes and applications, we call it as a traditional working model. Okay, in a cloud computing model, what they do, the organizations don't manage the infrastructure, because cloud provider will deliver the infrastructure as a service to you. Infrastructure as a service to you. You will be deploying that your applications on top of this infrastructure. So this is what is the difference, main difference between the on-premises and cloud computing model. Can anyone tell me if you guys have any questions? Until this one, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, guys. If you guys have any questions until this topic, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. I'll put it in the chat. In cloud-based architecture, is solution architecture role is being replaced with the cloud architect? Yeah, solution architect or cloud solution and both are same, guys. Okay. No, solution architect or a cloud architect, both are same. Some companies call it as a solution architect itself. Some companies will call it as a cloud architect. Both are same. Why GCP should be choose over the other cloud platforms? I will tell you that in the next few minutes. Any other questions, anyone? Hope this is clear. You should understand the traditional working model and you should understand the cloud working model. Then only you will appreciate the technology of the cloud computing. Okay. Why the cloud? Why the cloud? Why the cloud? Why we are moving to the cloud? Some people were saying, okay, we are moving the cloud because of something. But why? So all of these things I have just explained to you. This is how the traditional working model. Even though in a company also, if you go and working also, you will be seeing this kind of a working model. How to take care of security concerns within the traditional and cloud environments, we will see that in our upcoming sessions. Okay, so until this topic, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, yeah. Now, so in an on-premises and cloud working model. In an on-premises working model, you as a person has to take care of all the things. if you wanted to develop a solution on top, if you wanted to develop a solution on top of an infrastructure, what you have to do, you have to manage your own infrastructure. You have to manage your own physical infrastructure. That means you have to purchase your physical hardware, manage your virtual machines, manage your application. Everything you have to manage it. But when you go to the cloud, you have a three things that we will see in our upcoming sessions. Even if I tell you now, you may not be able to understand it. Okay, but just to make sure you understand this point, in the cloud working model, you have a three categories. One is VM based services. Next one is virtual machine based services, and sorry, first one is VM based, nothing but a virtual machine based. Second one is a managed services. Third one is a serverless services. Okay, when you are working in a cloud working model, if you wanted to go with a virtual machine based services, you don't need to worry about this thing. You have to take care of these three. If you are working in a managed services, you don't need to worry about these two things, but you have to manage these two things. When you are working in a serverless, you don't need to worry about these three things. You have to manage this thing. Okay, this particular diagram I will also tell you in our next session. But for now, in a on-premises, you have to manage all the things. You have to manage all the four things. But in the cloud-based things, we have a three categories. One is VM-based services, managed services, serverless services. In a VM-based services, you don't need to physically buy your machines and manage the physical infrastructure. But you have to manage your virtual machine, manage your application, and develop your solution. But when you go to the managed services, you don't need to worry about the physical infrastructure and virtual machines. You have to manage the application and development. In serverless, you don't need to worry about any of the infrastructure details. You just have to focus on the development only. So this is how the cloud focus is, that you don't need to worry about the infrastructure. We will take care of it. So that is what is the moral of the cloud computing. Okay. So this is how the difference. We will see this in our upcoming sessions as well. Now, as I told you, maybe I have already given you this definition in our last session also. What is Google Cloud Platform? A Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider. It provides you the cloud computing services which help the organizations to build, deploy, and scale the applications and services in the cloud. Okay, so what it is the Google Cloud Platform, guys? Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider similar to the AWS and Azure. It also provides you the cloud computing services, which will be helping the organizations to build, deploy, and scale the applications and services in the cloud. What are those services, if you ask me? Those services can be compute services, identity and security, management tools, networking services, big data services, storage and database services, machine learning services. As a data engineer, you say we are learning the BigQuery, Dataflow, Dataproc, PubSub, and storage, Bigtable, Cloud SQL. All of these topics we are learning, and few more topics also we are learning. Okay, so this is what is a service portfolio of the GCP. We can also call it as a GCP suite of services. Okay, and why learn the GCP? So you might have already think about, sir, we have a AWS already there in the market, and Azure is also there in the market. Why we are learning the GCP? It's not that we are learning the GCP; it's that the companies are choosing the GCP. Why the companies are choosing the GCP? Okay, if you wanted to learn something, that particular topic or that particular uh, service or that particular cloud platform has to be in the trending. Okay, then there will be a plenty of the jobs. Then only we will be start learning. Okay, similarly, why the jobs will be there? That means the companies are choosing the GCP over other clouds as well. Why it is? It's because Google has a very good community support. We already know that Google has a very good community support from the last decade, where we've been using the Google clouds, Google services such as a Google search engine, Google Maps, Google Analytics, Google YouTube, all of those services, all of those products from the Google only. So Google has a very good community support. And one more thing is that Google provides you the services which are cost effective. If you go to the AWS for one virtual machine, it is $100. If it is, I'm just telling you the comparison. If you go to one virtual machine, the cost of one small virtual machine is $100. If you go to the Azure, the cost of the same virtual machine will be somewhere around $90. In GCP, for the same cost for the same virtual machine, the cost will be $80. Whatever the features that you are getting in the VM, those features are same also here. Those features also same also here. Whatever the security that you get here, it is same as here, same as here, same as here. Whatever the benefits that you are getting here, same as here, same as here, same as here. If something you are getting with a very good performance, very good security, very good benefits, the cost you what which one you will be choosing? Whichever it is cost effective, you will be choosing. So that is the companies are also doing the same thing. Companies also doing the same thing. Now tell me which is cost effective, sir. Can you guys tell me which is cost effective?
GCP.
GCP is cost effective because for the same configuration, the virtual machine, the cost of the GCP is 80% because you will be choosing the GCP only. So that is the reason the companies, most of the companies are choosing the GCP over AWS and Azure. One more important aspect is that why the companies are choosing the GCP for data engineering or big data related activities. GCP is very famous. GCP, Google Cloud Platform, is very, very famous for the big data and data engineering activities. The services that the Google Cloud is providing you is very far better than the AWS and Azure. It is very, very fast, reliant, reliable, and secured, and it is easily scalable and flexible. So that is the reason most of the things. So the services are cost effective and the big data services are very flexible and scalable. Scaling up and down can be done easily as per the demand. And these are trustworthy, guys, because why it is trustworthy? We've been using the Google from the last Google products from the last decade. Those products are from the Google only. The Google Cloud Platform is also from the Google only. Okay, it is reliable and it is secure as well compared to the AWS and Azure. Equally secured with the AWS and Azure. It provides you the already I told you that it provides you the VM based services, managed services, serverless services also, and the interface and the performance is very good. Okay, this is the reason we have to learn the GCP because the companies are looking for the GCP candidates who are professional. If we try to learn it, the market, the demand for the GCP data engineer is very good. GCP big data professionals are very much in the demand. You can easily crack the interview if you are having a very good knowledge on these things. Not even the if you don't need to have a working experience, you just need to have a good knowledge on the topics, then you can able to easily crack it. Any questions here? It has a very good community support and it is one of the three market leaders, sir. This is a third. First AWS is there, Azure is there, GCP is there. So the market for the AWS is 30 per 35 or something. So this is around 20. I think so. It is also nearly 30, guys. Nearly 30. And this is around 20 2 or 20, around 23, something we can say. Now, so you see here, so the market leader is AWS. It is almost taking the 35%. This is more than 30%. This is more than 20%. And very soon it is taking over this Azure as well as AWS also. So that because that has that kind of a capability, that kind of a services, that kind of resources that the GCP is also providing. Okay, so this is how it is, and it is a market leader because one, two, three. As of today, it is in the top three market leader. Industry adaptation is there, as I told you. Small organization, startups, product-based companies, MNC-based companies already started using the GCP. That's the reason plenty of the opportunities as well. So when you have a plenty of the opportunities, the only thing is that you learn the course, you prepare the resume accordingly, you go for the interview, you crack it. Not only one job, but for two or three offers. And it has a comprehensive. Sorry. It has a comprehensive portfolio, I told you. It provides you wide variety of the services and products, integration and compatibility with all other services. You can easily integrate these GCP services with all other services as well. It provides you the machine learning capability as well. It has a global infrastructure. In India also, we have the two data centers for the GCP that is there in Mumbai and New Delhi. Google's infrastructure, Google Cloud infrastructure is also available in the Mumbai and Delhi, guys, in our India. Two places in India. Multi-cloud projects, guys. Nowadays, this is what is the era, guys. We used to work on the traditional. I told you, right? Maybe 10 years back, we used to work on the traditional. After that, the cloud came into the picture. So each project, for one project, all the people or all the services, they are using it from the one cloud. So that means if you go to the one project, so if you are using 10 services, all the 10 services from the one cloud only. Now, the next era is that multi-cloud. Some of the companies already started using this multi-cloud. Multi-cloud means in one project, if you are using the 10 services, those 10 services are from the GCP view, AWS view, and GCP 3, AWS 3, and Azure 3. So that is how all the cloud platforms in a one project. So you will be utilizing. It's because one service is very good at one cloud platform. One service is very good at one other cloud platform. So you will be using whatever the services which are good at each cloud platforms. You can use it like that. So that is how you can also use it. So that's where the next cloud era is multi-cloud. So you must learn the GCP. Okay, and next thing is that whoever is doing the certification, the career growth for the certification certified people in the GCP is very good, and you can easily go for the career growth, or you can also go for the hike in the same company, or you can go out of the company, and you can able to have your ladder for your GCP data engineer. Okay, so this is the reason that you should learn the GCP, guys. It's because industry adaptation. When you have an industry adaptation, many companies are using the GCP. That means the projects are there in the GCP. That means they need the working professional. GCP is new. Most of the people does not already available, so we need to learn. So when you learn it, you can able to easily crack the interview. The interviews are also not difficult, guys. I'm telling you. You can see here the market growth rate. So GCP AWS, but you see in the last quarter, 54% of the growth rate. Growth rate means the growth rate compared to the last year and this year, the growth rate is very good for the GCP. That means most of the companies are started using, even for the AWS and Azure, compared to the AWS and Azure also, the companies which started using the GCPs are very high. So that's the reason 54% of the growth rate. Okay, so that is very high. And the GCP for this particular course, if you wanted to go for GCP data engineer, you can go for GCP data engineer, GCP developer, and GCP admin also. These are all the topics we will be covering in our sessions. Okay, all the topics required for this particular course, we are covering it: GCP data engineer, GCP developer, GCP admin. And if you wanted to go for the certifications, you can go for associate cloud engineer certification. You can go for professional data engineer certification also. Two certifications. The first thing is that it's better for you to go for this particular first thing. And I will share you the DOMs and all of those things as well. We already know that yesterday I told you. Okay, this is something that a new topic, how to interact with the GCP services. So we have here the plenty of the services. And if you wanted to interact with the services in the GCP, we have a console, Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK, Web Applications, and tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start these things. Okay, these interfaces we are going to see from tomorrow onwards. Okay, plenty of the topics are there, guys. Console walkthrough, GCP look. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Now I'm wanted to stop here the session for today. I just wanted to give you the overview of how the what why we need the cloud. So which topic we have started today? Yeah, this one. So we started this why we need the cloud, and we have seen on-premises versus cloud platforms. What is GCP introduction? Why we learn opportunities. That's it. I think this here it is not so clear, but in the next this one here it is. So we have seen these things, guys. Okay, so until this one, cloud overview, why we need the cloud platform, what is the difference between the on-premises and cloud, we have seen. What is GCP, why we learn the GCP, what are the opportunities are there, what are the certifications that you can go for. Okay, any questions? If you guys have any questions, please put it in the chat or please raise your hand, guys. I'm going to ask you one by one. No, the thing is that at this point of time, for the any role, not only for the GCP at this point of time, because this is year end. Okay, so if you start applying for after January 15th onwards, the opportunities will be very high. I'm telling you, you will get at least 5 calls in a day, at least 5 calls in a day, and at least 5 interviews in a week for the GCP. At this point of time, the calls are less. It's because year end, the Christmas holidays, the USA people will not be available. Whenever the US market is not there, your opportunities will be less. So that is what it is. But January 15th onwards, the calls will be very high. I'm telling you. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Why GCP choose? I have told you. Then why the market share of GCP is only 9%? No. The market share is around 20%. You can also check it. Okay. Yeah. And hi, sir. I have done the payment yesterday. Okay, that you can connect with the team, guys. So they will be helping you on that if you need any of those. I mean, it's a starting only, right? So you may not be able to see the recorded videos, documents, all of those things, and they will help you from Monday onwards. You will be getting access to all of those videos. Okay, they will be adding you. They will create a group and they will add you to that. Okay, yeah. And I do not have any. Yeah, yes, Chandramohan KV.
Yeah, do you provide dumps for PDE as well?
Yes. So I think some people might not have attended yesterday. So we have here a robust material for each and everything, guys. So I will be providing you the access to this notes. We have a GCP topics, each and every topic. What we are going to discuss is here, and this is for the GCP basic topics, and this is GCP data engineering topics and the prerequisites. So if you wanted to cover prerequisites, and for those who wanted to go for the resume, we are providing the resume templates here. You can just double click on it. Once you have the access, you can double click on it. It will be downloaded to your machine. And for the interview, you can the interview introduction as well as the project overview, what to explain in the interview, and the architecture diagram for the interview is also here. So this is what you have to just tell you. Okay, my name is this one, and thanks for connecting me. My name is this one. I have completed BTech or MTech from this particular college. I have completed 2 to 3 years of experience as a data engineer. From last 2 years, I've been working in the Google Cloud projects. I'm working in a BigQuery Lake project where we get the data from multiple data sources such as the SQL Server. We extract all of this introduction and interview. You have to tell you properly. And if they're asking you to create the architecture diagram, you have to create it like this. And after that, if you need the data engineering questions, commonly asked questions are, I'm telling you, out of 10 questions, 7 questions is from this particular notes only. I'm telling you. Data engineering questions, commonly asked SQL questions for the coding questions and Python questions. All the coding questions are also here. And for those people who wanted to go for the certification dumps, you have a tab, you have a one page created a certification tab, associate cloud engineer dumps, and professional data engineer dumps. PDE dumps. Okay, I have attached here. Once you got the access to the notes, that means once you have completed the registration, I will provide the access to all of you guys. Yes, if you, I mean, I'm telling you guys, most of the people, you don't need to any experience to work in the GCP. If you are attending my classes, you will be getting a good knowledge on the GCP, including the labs, because each session we have a labs, case study 1, case study 2, case study 3, case study 4. For data proc, so for BigQuery, case study 1, case study 2. Real time scenario based questions only we are covering. So labs, every session will have the labs, guys. You see here lab sessions. Session 1, session 2, session 3, job 1, job 2. All of these things, including we have a case studies also. Similarly for the data flow also. All the jobs, including the job 1, job 2, and you have all the things are here. Even I have mentioned the sample data also for your practice. Airflow also, you will be having DAG 1, DAG 2, DAG 3, level 1 DAG, level 2 DAG, level 3 DAG. So these are all the commonly used. This code, if you look at it right, it will be around 100 to 200 lines of the code, and it is very easy to write it. No worries at all. I will tell you. What is the prerequisite? The prerequisite is this one, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, here it is. The prerequisite is that SQL concepts. If you know the SQL concepts, that's more than enough. Or if you know the Python also, that's well and good. Python, basics of the Python. SQL concepts you must know. And if you wanted to revise your SQL knowledge, you have here the SQL documents, commonly as the SQL questions. Python for basics, Python practice questions also I have mentioned here. Okay? Yeah. Yes, Kishore.
So I wanted to ask if we can do some practicals on how to deploy, just to get the feel of the environment. Can we have a sample deployment that be done on GCP platform, be it a lightweight application or some sort of that, just to get the idea of how
No,
easy it
in
is
our
to
sessions we will be seeing it, of course.
Okay.
Okay, we
We
will be,
missed
for
I missed
example,
the first 10 or 15 minutes part of the class. So just wanted to ask you if we are able to do that in these one or
no,
two
no.
days.
See, the data engineering is not more about deployment, first thing. Okay, it's more about creating your data processing activities. For sure, we will also do the deployments. The deployment is that, for example, you have to create your, using the Terraform, we have to create the infrastructure for the cloud composer, or the data pro cluster, or the cloud SQL instance. We have to create it. For sure, that we will be seeing. But you don't, you're not going to spend working on deployments heavily. Okay, you don't create any deployment. Your task of deployments is almost 2% of your entire 100% is your job. If you think only 2 to 5% will be working on deployments,
Yeah,
90% you will be working on your data processing activity as a data engineer.
sure. Our heavy lifting is going to be mostly on pipeline designs and uh,
Correct. So you will be creating the data pipelines, which will be, that means data processing pipelines, which will be your 90% of your job.
yeah, since we are new to this GCP platform, right? So I just wanted to understand if you can do some, if there is any material that you could
No, no. So everything is here, because if I tell you, right? So the best thing is that some people are eager to know that how the process will be, but that is fine. But some people who does not know about this thing, right? If I tell you all of these things, it will be like a scaring to them. Okay, because they don't know even a small topic of that. So my course is like we are starting from the very basics to the advanced. So in a very basic stage, if I talk about this thing, for those people who are like, out of these 10 people, only one person can able to understand the process, but other 9% may not be able to understand it. It's like a, I'm scaring to them, I'm giving a scare, so they will scared out of it. So I don't wanted to do such kind of a things. But if you wanted to check it out, okay, if you wanted to check it out how the deployment will be and how the process will be, you can always go to the Google Cloud platform, or you can always go to the YouTube and check it out how they are
yeah,
doing it.
yeah, I
Okay,
did that. There are few, I mean, there are various ways of how the people
of
deploy.
course there will be various ways of it. So for example, for you, the case study one. Okay, see here, I have a one of the CSV file array, whatever the file. For me, I have taken one of the server, and I have a CSV file. I have to move the data to the Google Cloud Storage, and I have to, using the PySpark. This is nothing but one of the data processing pipeline I'm creating here using the data proc, using the PySpark language. So in this PySpark code, I have to mention the source connection. I have to mention the transformation steps. I have to mention the destination connections. Source connection is that I have to extract this data from the GCP and using the code only, PySpark code only. Using the PySpark code, I have to transform this data into various stages so that I will come to a final requirement. And that data I have to load it to the BigQuery. And the BigQuery will be loading this data to the BI, some other BI tool for the data visualization purpose. So this is how the projects will be. And here I have clearly mentioned how the requirements also. If I go, if you are guys, let me open this one. It's not opening. Okay, it's not opening. 1 minute. The case study also I have one of the simple case study diagram and how the requirements will be in the companies also. I will tell you, show you. Let me try to show you. This is where it is that. This is data proc. Yeah. Data proc. Okay. Case study. Yeah. So this is one of the PPT that this is not actually the PPT, guys. This is one of the requirement from one of the company when I was working as a freelancer. Okay, I made it as a project. Okay, this is one of the project for the freelancer. I took almost for completing this POC. I took almost 1 month, more than 1 month, I would say. So the requirement is this one that one of the company wanted to store their travel records in one of the CSV or some FTP server as a CSV files. These files are need to be stored in the database or a data warehouse, which is used for the visualization. In the current scenario, visualization team is directly taking the CSV files. In the scenario, data cleansing and data processing is getting compromised. To reduce this problem, build an ETL script in the Python or a PySpark, which can be loading the data from the CSV files placed in any location to any other database. Okay, so this is was the one of the requirement. I have given the solution. These are the guidelines. These are the transformations. Okay, the transformations we have to do is that all the date columns should have in the uniform date format. All the packs name field should be cleaned and properly. Somewhere it is Mr. there, it is capital Mr. there, somewhere it is Mr. there. Remove all the prefix. And airline field is flown status is data reputation. Somewhere it is like Indigo. It should be Indigo only. The spell mistakes are also there. And also first letter has to be capital, all others should be small. And airline full. So this is how some of the transformations will be. And what you have to do is that we have to create a PySpark code loading the data from the CSV. So to do that, we have to use a different cloud services. I have used the Dataproc to complete this entire activity, and the scheduler is Airflow I have used. So this is one of the activities. So it's a similar thing. The same thing I have mentioned here. This is the same project for that one. I have here the mention the sample data. I have here the ETL script also there. So such kind of things we are going to. So this is an end-to-end project, guys. This is an end-to-end project. Once the entire POC is completed, you will be integrating it with the CI/CD also. So that's where the DevOps engineer will also come into the picture, and he will further automate the entire process. Okay, so that is what is how the projects looks like. Okay, such kind of things we have case study one. You have a case study two. So these are the following requirements. These are the requirements. This is how the data, and for the same thing, and case study 4, and you have assignment also, you have interview questions also. Okay, you have all the things separately, and I spent a lot of time designing this entire material only, and it is not from the one batch or two batch, guys. From the last, I think I have covered, I mean, this is more than 15th batch. I think it is around 20th batch or something. So 15th or 16th batch, I believe. Okay. And you can able to see every batch I am updating this particular notes. Every batch. Because when I started like 1.5 years before, the GCP services, the platform, how it used to be, now how the GCP platform used to be is a lot of enhancement is done. A lot of improvements done in the GCP platform itself. So we are changing this notes keep and every now and then. So that's the reason earlier I used to provide the Word files. When I was providing the Word files, the Word file is not updating for the previous students. So that is the reason what I have started doing is that I created a notebook. Whenever I update something, even for the previous batch students, the next batch students, whenever you are, it will be keep on updated to you. Whenever you come here, it will be showing you the updated information. Okay? Yeah. Any questions, guys? Anyone? Yes, Arjun Vishwanath.
Hi sir. My question is on like migration parts. Are we covering like
Yes.
how
Yes,
migration
we have
works?
a migration there. We have like 2 to 3 migration projects. We have a cloud SQL. One migration project is the data migration. You see here, manual method and automatic method using the DMS service. This is on premises to the cloud SQL. It is a database migration. And similarly, in the data proc also you will be seeing, and data flow also you will be seeing the same migration topic. Okay. So most of the times the projects
So
will be
same thing will cover.
migration. Yeah. Sorry. Hello. Hello. Yes. Oh, anyway, I might have no. I may not be able to hear you. But this is how in one hour here somewhere maybe in the job one or job two you'll be able to see one more migration project. Okay. So we have like 2 to 3 migration projects. I will tell you. Yes. And Rishabh Gupta.
Yeah, hi sir. Sir,
Yes.
actually, I am also working in the data engineer,
Okay.
so as well as also the GCP. But I have
Okay.
the basic knowledge, so I want to know because here it is. In my company, I am associated with the Tesla project. So here it is mostly the part of the data engineering, like that for the pipeline, DAX, Apache Airflow. So
Everything.
would you cover all the these things in
Of
this
course, right.
advanced?
So that is what I'm
Because
telling you.
basic I yeah because basic I knowledge about it how to use it, but for the
No,
advanced
no,
purpose I
don't
need
see.
to change.
Our main agenda is that create the code. As a data engineer, we create the code. We create the development code. We are focusing on creating the development code.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
As like
That is it.
pipeline and
Correct. Correct. So if you want me
PubSub
to show
and
you
BigQuery.
one of the DAG pipeline, so
Yeah.
this is one of the ETL script.
Mm,
Okay. Similarly, for the DAG also, let me show you PDE, and we have here composer. So here it is a one more DAG, you whatever you are asking DAG, and this is a
mm,
level 1 DAG, level 2 DAG. We are creating this. Sorry, don't worry about these things. Here we have a level 1 DAG, level 2 DAG, all of these things.
mm,
We have a level 3 DAGs also for triggering the activities, and we have a I mean for the sample testing purpose. So this is,
mm.
and for the data proc also we have here. So everything. Okay, I'm going to talk about all of these things, guys, for the data
Okay.
flow. Yeah.
Mm,
Here it is a data flow code, and
mm,
similarly this is data flow, how to create the pipelines, all of those things here. So this
mm.
gives you a very good experience, I'm telling you. We are creating these codes.
Okay.
We are not just I'm not going to just tell you. I'm going to write the code in
Mm.
front of you so that you will learn everything.
Yeah, actually I enrolled in the professional data engineering certificate now, so that's why I need little bit assist
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this.
yeah, sure. And you can also go for my certification dams. I'm telling you, most of the
Mm.
questions is repeated. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Most of the questions repeated if you wanted to
And
correct it.
what would be the time? It would be the same or you will be
Yeah,
change
it is
after
the
the.
same. It is same, guys, for now.
Oh, it would be up
It is
to me.
same. Yeah,
Like that.
7:30 to 8:30 every day, the same timings.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Um, I think yeah, Mujib Sayed. Hello, Mujib Sayed. Can you tell me if you have any questions? Okay, Devabrat VST. Devabrat, can you hear me? Yeah, tomorrow also same link, guys. Yes, we are covering a lot many case studies and projects. Yes, Sujan. Yes, Mujib. Can you hear me? You can't be able to unmute yourself. Okay, let me try mute. Hello, participants. Yeah, you now you can unmute yourself. Mujib, you can talk now. Yes, Mujib. Just tell me. Okay. Yes, we are teaching. That's what I was showing you, right? So if you go to the data airflow, we have a level 1, level 2, level 3 DAGs. Okay, each are different. It is a ETL perspective level 1, scheduler perspective level 2, and one more scheduler perspective level 3. Okay, each code we are creating. This is a Python notebook. This is a Python file only. If I open it, it will open the Python file. Okay, I think let me show you here. So everything is here, guys. I have it here. You see level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay, so we are creating these codes. Yeah. Okay, this is one more configuration. It is data proc, and this is data flow. I think GCS to BigQuery. So all of these things are here. Don't worry about that. Okay. And yeah, any other questions? Deba Bharat VST. Which one? Sorry. Not required. Yeah, not required. The prerequisite is to, if you know the SQL, that is more than enough. All other things we are learning. I have seen people who are from other backgrounds like production mechanical also. They got the job. They are working. Okay, they are working fine. Don't think that they are one of the guy who is having a 6 years of experience in the networking. Now he is working in the GCP as a GCP ingestion team in Altimetric. Recently only he placed recently only a very like 10-15 days back he was actually he was a friend of a brother of my friend, and he was my friend only referenced, and he joined the course. He completed the course. He joined in a one company as an ingestion team in the GCP Ultrametric in Chennai. He joined. So no, whether you are from non-technical or a technical, whether technical in the IT or in the same field, no worries at all. Because if you wanted to plan to start your career in the GCP, opportunities are there. So you can go for easily for the job. So that is the main important thing. Oh, okay. Of course, why it's available in the Gurgaon. Plenty of the opportunities are there. Even some people from the south will also get from the calls from the Gurgaon company, and we don't want it to come that far. Okay. Yeah, plenty of opportunities. If you want, guys, we will also share you some of the opportunities or newsletters so that you will come to know that wherever the job is there. Okay. Yeah, there are plenty of opportunities in the Google. Sorry. Not a fact. That's not a problem. If you are having 10 years, 15 years of experience also, that's perfectly fine. The only thing is that you should have a proper documents for you to join in the company. That's the only important aspect. Knowledge wise, I can assure you that you can learn from knowledge from me. Spend 1 hour here, 1 hour, 1 more hour for the practice. That's more than enough. Daily 2 hours. 1 hour for the live session, 1 hour for the practice. That's it. Yeah. It will be decent. It depends on your current package, and it will be decent, guys. Don't worry. The demand is there for the data engineers. Okay. Yeah, there is a very good demand for the data engineers. The packages are very good, guys. Even though if you're trying for second offer, I'm telling you the package is even more good. Okay. Yeah. Even for example, there are people who cracks 2 to 3 interviews also. Even I have cracked my fourth interview recently. I have joined in one of the company, and where I am working as a solution architect now. And I used to work as a senior data engineer and a senior DevOps engineer. After that, now I am working as a solution architect in one of the company, and I'm a solution consultant for one of the company. I'm a freelancer. I'm a trainer. So I'll be taking care of all of these things in a day. In a one day, I'll be having all of these things. So the only thing is that if you are cracking 3 to 4 interviews, your package will be very high. Okay. Yeah. That depends on. It is different from, because I come from both the backgrounds. Because even in the data engineering, also some of the aspects of DevOps will come into the picture. But you as a data engineer, you may not be looking at it. But I as a solution architect, I may have to have those knowledge. Yeah. Talking about me. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Sujan. So we are covering, you can think of like this. For example, each thing, for example, if I go here, we will be having case studies. So the case study is nothing but a real-time aspect. I am covering it as a case study here. Real-time project, I am covering as a case study here. For the data proc, you have it here. For each data flow, you have it here. Somewhere you will be seeing the job one. For the level, for the airflow level one, level two, level three. These are all the case studies. What it will do is that this is exactly how the people are working in that company. Okay, how a data engineer working in the airflow is the level one, level two, level three data. How a data flow person who is working in the one is a job one. Data flow, case study one, case study two, all of these things. And you have an assignment for you as well. One of this assignment also I am giving you. And this is actually the assignment for you. I have here the everything. So case study is something that which makes you to load, extract the data from the sources, multiple data sources, load it to the destination. And how do you write the code to do all of these activities? A pipeline. Okay, so that is what it is. And you have a BigQuery also case studies. So because some people, I'm telling you, if you're getting a job as a GCP data engineer, 40 to 50% you are working on the BigQuery, and 20 to 30% data proc, Airflow also 20 to 30%. Okay, that is how. Or BigQuery, data flow, Airflow. So that is how. Either data proc or data flow. That is how the companies are working. Okay, yeah. And some people also get a chance to work on the cloud SQL also. And here also we are having data migration project from the local to the cloud. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, I'll be teaching you the BigQuery. So here we will see what is BigQuery, what is the architecture of the BigQuery, how to work with the BigQuery, how to create all of these tables. You see here various ways to create the tables. And assignment for you, once we learn about these things, assignment for you. And what is BigQuery partitioning, which is a advanced topic. How to create a nested and repeated fields, which is, I will say, one more advanced topic. What is views, what is materialized view, what is authorized view, which is commonly asked question in the interview. Case study one, case study two. Okay, they can able to understand, but they have to put one more, a little more effort. Yeah. Yes, Arjun Vishwanath.
Hi sir, my question on like both data engineering and data engineering support, both are same or different, sir?
Data engineering is a development. Data engineer support is a support work.
Okay, so like my project is on the support thing, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Like,
support. The best thing about for you is that if you are learning something right from this course, the best thing
mhm.
what you can do is that you don't need to develop anything. You can just support. Okay, after few days, what you can manage is that anyway you are learning this course, and anyway in your support project you are learning some knowledge, and that knowledge you can make it as a instead of support you mention it as a data engineer developer, and then you can go for the next job. Your package will be very very good.
So that's a main that question was raising in my mind from yesterday. So I just better
That's
to
actually
ask
a
you.
very, very good point. Most of the people I have seen people testers. So testers, for example, there is a even in the data engineering also you will be having a testers. What they do actually, they will there for 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years. After that, they will learn the data engineering development, and anyway they are working in the data engineering testing. So they already know about the projects ins and outs. They will be able to explain everything. And when they go for the next interview, they don't say that I have worked as a tester. They say that I am a developer, and they already learned this course. I have seen many people who converted from the testers to this particular development side, and their package will be very very good because they perform very good in the interviews because they already working in the same environment, right? So that's how.
Yeah. So for simultaneously, we are working on that both on-prem support and the GCP support, data
Correct.
engineering support. So
Correct.
better we are mentioned to the support, we can directly mention to the data engineer, right?
Correct. You should mention that only. If you wanted to be in a very trending, and if you wanted to get a very good hike, also you should be there. The duration of this course is 45 hours. That means close to 2 months. And which certification I first do? That means you can go for the associate certificate, guys. Associate level certificates are very easy, and which is most of the companies, even you go for the interview also, they ask that do you have any certification? You can say associate level certification. Okay, yeah, certification associate level you can do. I have another batch, but that is in the evening batch. Morning 7:30 to 8:30, evening 8 to 9 p.m. That is data engineering batch. That is already in the middle. We are covering the data proc there. And 9 to 10:30 p.m. we have a GCP DevOps batch also. Okay, so we have every day three branches, but data engineering is morning and evening because data engineering opportunity is very high. So that's the reason we are covering two batches, and the evening batch is in the almost in the 70% is completed, almost 70% completed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you joined this batch, if you wanted to join the next batch also, that is also fine, guys. No issues. You can connect with the admin team. They will make you make that arrangements. If you pay the fee for this batch, and if you wanted to join, and if you want, because your timings is sometimes it is available, sometimes it is not available. That's fine. The admin will do the arrangements. You can also attend the evening batch, and whenever the next evening batch starts, right? You can actually after 20 days or 25 days, next batch will also start. Okay. Okay, guys. I think this is it for today, and we will see few more things tomorrow. The timing is 7:30 to 8:30, guys. Same. Oh, that's a DevOps batch. That's not a data engineering. Okay.
So do we have like a GCP on Kubernetes? So in DevOps only we will cover, sir.
Yes, that's actually a DevOps topic.
Okay.
So you can, that's the thing is that I'm actually a DevOps engineer as well as a data engineer. I know all the ins and outs of the project so that I can able to easily explain you. The only thing that you have to do is that whenever I am talking about a new topic also, you should do some kind of a research. So because everything I cannot be able to tell you. Maybe data engineering perspective, I can give you 100%. But for the DevOps engineer, because data engineer and DevOps is not different. First thing, maybe you may think that DevOps is a data engineering are two different fields, but DevOps is not actually a field. Okay, it's a principles, it's a strategies how you actually create your integration and deployment strategies. So it's not actually the course, it's actually the principles that we have to learn there, and the tools we have to learn there to learn those principles. So that's how. So whenever I'm talking about the DevOps also, you should be attentive and you should learn about few things of it, so that because in the company also you are not just working as a in a one project, you are not just the developer. There will be a data engineers will be there, Python developers will be there, Java developers will be there. In addition to that, BI developers will be there. In addition to you, DevOps engineer will also be there. So if you wanted to understand the entire project flow, should be having the knowledge of all of these fields. So when you have a knowledge of all of these fields, you will come to know, okay, this guy is doing this thing, this guy is doing that thing. In the interview, you have to explain those things only. In the interview, what you have to explain, okay, in our project we have 7 members. We have to like four data engineers are there, two DevOps engineers are there, one BI engineer is there, and our project is this one, and my task is this one, and other guy is doing this task, that guy is doing that task. So this is how. So in the interviewer think that okay, this guy is already worked in the company and he know about all the ins and outs of that particular project. He has worked on specifically on this project. I will ask the questions on this related to it. So when you give that kind of a information to the interviewer, right, he will be getting a very good scenario of what actually you are. What the people will do in the interviews is that they say that I am a data engineer, I work on this activity, that's it. Okay, so when you explain this thing, right, he will be asking something question which you do not know, which the other data engineer was working. So what the problem will be is that that's where you say that I did not know that I have not worked on it. And the same other question also if you ask. So when you explain to the interview, you specifically mention and you create a boundary that inside the boundary only he should ask the questions. What is the boundary? How to create it is that, okay, now in my team this many members are there and these people are working on these activities. My activity is solely working on the BigQuery, or my activity is solely working on the data proc or a data flow. So when you say that, you are creating a boundary, so inside the boundary only he will ask the questions. When he is asking the questions inside the boundary, you should be very attentive and you should be explaining it very easily. So that's how the people are cracking the interviews. No one says that I know everything. Okay, no one says no, I know everything. Okay, everyone will create a boundary in the interview. Inside the boundary, they make sure that the interviewer asking the questions inside the boundary. And whenever they are asking the questions, you should be very perfect with the answer. Okay. Yeah. Okay, these kind of things we will be seeing in our upcoming sessions. In the last session of our GCP data engineering course, I will also tell you how to answer the questions in the interview, how to tell you the introduction to yourself, all of those things. That was last thing is for you to as a interview readiness, guys. So that's last session of our course is last 1 hour is that it is an interview readiness. How do you have to go for the interview? How to prepare all of these things? I will give you at that point of time. You will understand more because the most of the topics you will be by that time you will be able to have a very good knowledge on all of these topics. So at that point of time you will be able to understand it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, I think this is it for today, and we will see few more. And I will tell you how to create an account. Don't worry, I may be telling you tomorrow or Monday. Don't worry, I will tell you how to create a free tier account. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, I think it's already 9, and we will meet tomorrow, and we will see few more things. And till then, bye bye, guys. If you guys have any questions, also you can ask me tomorrow as well. That is not at all a problem. Okay, yeah. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Have a day. Good day. Bye.
Yeah.